Hello travellers, so today I just wanted to do a sort of a quick hands-on and review of this here, which is the Mogics Bagel. So it gets its name from obviously it looking like a bagel or a donut. So they do have two versions of this one. In the US with US plugs, they have one called the donut, so the Mogics Donut. And this one here is the Mogics Bagel. And bagel basically just means that it has universal ports on the outside here. So all these ports on the outside are universal. They can take all the different plugs from all the different countries. Now I should mention this isn't grounded, but you can use grounded plugs because they'll fall between the cracks just here. So just to clarify really quickly, in addition to the 4 universal outputs, there is one US only output. So this does output power, but only to a US shaped plug. So like I said, this is the bagel version. This is for international input. They do also make one called the donut, which has just US plugs on the outside. But both of them do adapt for around the world travel. So the middle pops out like this, and you can see why it has the bagel or donut name. And this is actually really cool. This is basically a really small universal power adapter which just clips onto the end. So the bagel here has its own cord. You just pull it out like that. So this cable actually extends 3 feet, is about 92 centimeters. And this part here plugs into this part here, giving you the universal power adaptation. So you plug this into the wall of the country or the place you're visiting, and then you plug your devices in here. So this is actually basically a universal power adapting charging strip. So you actually have access to several charging ports. So you have here 2 USBs, 1, 2, 3, 4 extra devices that you can charge around the edge. And now, like I said, these are universal inputs, so you can charge any country input into these ones. So say you're in Europe with a European plug, that plugs straight in like that. So you're in the UK. Now, like I said, this part here is not grounded, but the grounded plug should fit in the middle there. So if I just pull this cord out a little more. So when you pull the cord out, you have more space here for grounded plugs. So this UK plug is always has a grounding pin. So you can plug that straight here and it sits right in there nicely. So say you're in Australia, this has angled pins on 45-degree angle. And you can see here, there's a 45-degree angle on these ones. So you do need to put in on the right direction, which is this way here. So it pops straight in. And say you're in the US, straight pins, they plug in either direction, just like that. So it's a very interesting alternative to a standard universal power adapter. This one also has 2 USBs and adapts for all the same countries. But this one has the advantage that you can put 4 devices in at the same time and also get like an extension cable, which is actually very handy. So for roughly the same size and shape and weight, this is a universal power strip because you can plug more things in once with 2 USBs and extra plugs for every country. So actually I think this is a really interesting design and I do quite like this one. It's definitely what I'm going to be taking on me with my future trips because, you know, if you have friends or you want to charge more than one thing at once, it is really handy to have that extra option here. So the Mogics Bagel and Donut are both available on Amazon right now. It's about $49 US. On the Australian Amazon, it's 64 Australian dollars. So just to recap, both of the bagel and the donut versions of this do adapt for international travel. So they both have the little adapter on the end here. This one is the Australian one. It clicks into place and then you just pull down this red part to push it back in. You have the European pins. Same deal, you push those back in. So in order to adapt the UK plug, it has this little pop-out pin, grounding pin, which sits there and helps it to fit into a UK. Now, if you do want to adapt to a US plug, that's already built in. So you got the US plug here, and then the other countries' plugs just here. So it is a very handy and very compact Nice little power adapter, which I very much like, and I'll definitely be using it over my old Scross adapter here. So that's it, thanks very much for watching, and be sure to let me know in the comments if you've tried this or if you have any other power adapters that you recommend, and be sure to stay subscribed to keep up to date with future videos.